Hey everyone, it's Chris here. Let's talk about what the sponsored membership program is like with Gamkedo Club, what it entails, how you can apply if you're interested, how it all fits together, because it's a great resource we've used to help a lot of people out there. I want more people out there to be aware of it now going into 2018. Now, first of all, to clarify a couple things, this is the application for sponsored membership. This is all related to Gamkedo Club. It's an online worldwide practice group up and running now. We're in our third year. We build games together collaboratively on the internet. We've finished at the time of this video over 40 games together, and each one of these you'll see a bunch of names in the credits of people who chip in when and how they have time. Some people, actually a lot of members are just chipping in a few hours per week. It's not expected to be your full-time job. It's not expected to be like as if it's your game development position somewhere. It's just practice. People are on a bunch of projects at once. Right now we have, I think, between 3 to 5 active games at the time of this video that we're working on together. And we collaborate through a variety of services. Now, anybody in the world who wants to can go and join the club. There's currently, at the time of this video, no application process. You just click join, takes you information for that. But there are membership dues, since running this club and supporting the members and helping train people is the business that I run. But there are people out there who would be a great fit for this club in terms of their skill sets, in terms of their interest, that might be where you're at, but who don't necessarily currently have the financial situation they would need to be able to afford the membership dues. And we try to keep those reasonable. We try to keep them modest. We just not just something for wealthy people or people who have elite high-paying jobs or something, but we totally understand, again, that there's people who in their present economic circumstance, where they are in the world, the strength of the dollar relative to something else, whatever, it just may not be economically feasible at this time to join as a paying member. That's where the application process comes in. And this is something which is free to apply to, free to participate in. If you get accepted through the application process, you will never be asked for a PayPal, a Gumroad, a credit card, none of the information. It's just going to be connecting you up to the services to participate alongside everyone else. We keep private which members are and aren't sponsored. I think it's entirely personal information, who is or isn't of financial sort of in a strong situation or currently working on improving their situation. And so we do keep that private information. But I will say, at least obviously now it's been going on now for I think maybe 6 to 12 months we've been having sponsored members around. We've had sponsored members lead projects successfully. So they've kicked off teams and finished the projects. Sponsored people in all kinds of roles, doing programming, doing art, doing modeling, 2D art, animation stuff, sound effects, music, writing, you name it. People of all kinds of backgrounds, places in the world, and so on, participated as sponsored members. And again, they just ride alongside everybody else in every way, shape, and form, exactly like all other members. Now, the way that this works is that it's actually funded by the Patreon that I run, which is patreon.com/Gamkedo. And part of what the Patreons are for, so you'll see at the top, at the moment I have 61 patrons. There's different reward tiers. A couple of those reward tiers are for people who are wanting to subsidize someone else's membership at a reduced rate. So someone who's a generous stranger and has a little extra income, maybe they're not in the right spot to take advantage of what my club does, or it's not really their interest, but they want to help support the mission that I'm on. They go for one of these 2 reward tiers. Some of those 61 are in these reward tiers. And as of the start of 2018, I have some openings for sponsorships, which is part of why I'm making this video, to ask more people out there to apply. If you scroll down on that same page from patreon.com/Gamkedo, there's a spot where it says anyone can apply. That'll take you to the application form. Or on our club site, gamkedo.com, if you scroll down to the FAQ, there's a spot about, do you have scholarships? And it's not quite a scholarship. I mean, scholarship's a much more intense piece of machinery for a significantly higher level of cost being displaced. But this explains, again, kind of the overall process of what this is about. Link to the Patreon as well as a link right to the application process. Let's look at what's on that application process, because I think it's important to understand that it's not super intense at all. It asks what your name is, which you can use a semi-anonymous online alias. We don't ask for your private details. We're not concerned about, looking you up or anything like that. Your preferred contact email address. This is just so I can get in touch with you if the application's accepted. Would you need your dues covered by Gamkedo Club? And this is purely honor system. This is something that I understand that there is some risk that someone in the world might take advantage of this who doesn't need it, but would opt to. We're in a situation where I'd far rather be occasionally taken advantage of in that way by someone who's dishonest than not be able to support other people in the world who really need it, which I believe on the honor system, again, that the majority of members who use sponsorship are in a situation where they need that extra difference. We ask if you're at least 18 years of age or older, and this isn't about, we don't make M-rated games, it's not about inappropriate conversations, we don't run our place like a bar or anything like that, but it is the case that for legal reasons, for things having to do with regulations and other things, just simpler for people can vouch for their own positions on things about their rights to their work and so on. So this is where 18 years or older comes in, why it is a requirement to apply for sponsorship. Prior experience, these are things which we're not expecting to come in here with a huge background. We're not looking to, this is not like you're applying for a job where you have to impress somebody, not like applying for a position at university where you're trying to out impress, so compared to somebody else, show you've done more than them. It really is just so, we'll talk through what's here. If you've used the free course at codeyourfirstgame.com, what's your Udemy name? That allows me to check and see that, yes, you've done that free course. That's anyone in the world can do that. People who've done that obviously like have a better sense for exactly how the Programming Club works. Speaking of which, we use 2 platforms in the club, JavaScript on Canvas, HTML5, which is what codeyourfirstgame.com uses, as well as Unity C#, which is what we use for intermediate advanced projects. We teach you that part if you're only familiar so far with the JavaScript courses. If you have an online portfolio, you can link to it. Not everybody does, including not everybody gets accepted for sponsorships. It's not a requirement. But if you do have some past projects, here's an opportunity to point to them so we can see what else you've done. Tell me a bit about your prior game development or related learning. And I emphasize here, this is under 400 characters. We're not asking for essays. We're not writing for papers. This is not trying to spell out an enormous case. This is really just, have you done some things before? Have you done some game design? Have you done some game programming? Have you, taken some tutorials? Have you, just those sort of things. And again, this is helping us establish kind of where you're coming from so we have a better sense of who and how you are and how you might fit into things. Background information again, we have just a few last questions. Again, all of these under 400, in one case 200 characters, keeping it short. 200 characters is not a lot. We link to a letter counter so you can kind of keep that straight. It's really just one normal paragraph. What do you want to gain? Why do you want to gain more experience in game development? What are you looking for out of it? If you're accepted, what sort of things would you intend to do with Gamkedo Club? And any other notes, comments, or questions. And I'll tell you, these questions here, again, it's not really about trying to impress anybody. It's partly about making sure that you seem to have a clear understanding of what Gamkedo Club does, what it exists for, how it works. Occasionally I'll get people submit these forms thinking, they're just kind of out there, and they're totally disconnected from, if you just look at gamkedo.com, our website, and you read a bit about what we do, how we do it, why we bring in guest speakers, the kind of things that members do, the kind of benefits of being a member, and so on, and just seem to understand that in those answers, they're probably going to be fine. Beyond that, the only person who sees the responses to these forms, again, at least at this time, and as indicated up here, is me, as the person who runs the club, is responsible for it. Nobody else sees this information. It's private, doesn't get published anywhere. And again, if you do get accepted, you just join the club as if you were a paying member. The one other sort of caveat, and this is just sort of, I think, makes rational sense, is that if you're with the club as a sponsored member, it's the case that because someone else out there is anonymously covering your dues, we do have to make sure that you're actually using your membership. Occasionally I have people who, with the best of intentions, maybe join as a sponsored member and then start to just kind of not really use it after a while. And that's fine. People's lives change, priorities change. Sometimes they try on the shoe, see if it doesn't fit, and that's perfectly fine. But in that case, we just have to open up that position again for another applicant because there's other people who are or will be on that list who'd like to fill that role. And again, that's perfectly fine. It's within reason, right? We have members who are not sponsored who also will occasionally take a week off, take a couple weeks off here and there. No big deal. Work ramps up, finals come up in school, something happening in family or health or otherwise. We're totally understanding. It really is just about like if a few weeks start to pass and kind of like there's no activity and someone's kind of absent, we'll just follow up to make sure like, hey, do you still want this spot? Because if not, again, we got to open up for somebody else. But that's how sponsored membership works with Gamkedo Club. Again, you can learn more about what Gamkedo Club is and how it works at gamkedo.com. If you're looking to get more information about Gamkedo's Patreon, kind of how this all fits together, you can go to patreon.com/Gamkedo. And either one of those 2 pages will link you to the form if you'd be interested in applying. So thanks so much for your consideration today. If you want to build games with us, either you can join us as a member with no application, no wait, no nothing, just by going to our site, clicking join, filling in that information. Or if you would need the sponsorship in order to participate, that's how you can do so. But either way, I look forward to building games with you in 2018.